Let's fight, bro.
Stop. I feel like I'm my own worst enemy.
These two bad boys are the first Pops I ever purchased, and they remain amongst my favorites in my collection. And that's Bruce Lee from Game of Death and Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon. I actually like this exclusive sticker. Some of them are so ugly, like the Toys R Us one and the Target one. Most, like the Entertainment Earth one, most of the stickers are just really ugly, and they did a good job of making just a small, classy looking sticker. I like that it's round. So I just wanted to point that out. It looks good with this packaging too. Just looks really nice. I like how they chose to just use Bruce Lee's signature with some dragons for the box art. There's only 2 figures in this line. It would have been nice to have a 2-pack of Bruce Lee vs. Chuck Norris from, I believe it's Way of the Dragon? I think it's Way of the Dragon. If I'm wrong, correct me. But that would have been really cool. This is one of my favorite figures because it's Bruce Lee, and not so much because Funko did a real stellar job on it. But the pose is really, really good. But my gripe is about the paint. Like, if you look closely here, there's just black splatter everywhere on his feet. And I guess you can say, oh, maybe it's dirt, or he gets dirty, because he does in that movie. But this just looks like they got black paint everywhere. Because on this side, it starts to be real clean. And look, his shoes look really nice. They got his original black and yellow Asics. But then you see this little spot just stick out there where they just couldn't keep it in the lines. Little lines in his nunchucks too. Sometimes they're really dark like they are here, nice and solid, and then it looks like they barely even got the paint in there before just moving on. Weirdness on his hand there. Just little random white spots on his hair here and there. Nothing too bad on that. The bad part about his hair is it looks like they put him in the package before it dried. And there's this little smear here. It's nothing too crazy. It's just when you inspect it close, you notice all these things. But when it's sitting on the shelf, you don't really notice it. And you notice this great pose that they did, this great sculpt of him. Even if they would have painted Bruce Lee all black or all white or all gold, you still recognize him immediately as Bruce Lee because of this pose. I mean, he does that so much in his movies when he's got nunchucks. He sticks his hand out to distract the guy before he just whips him in the head with it. And he doesn't even need his classic yellow jumpsuit. This is the one that inspired the bride's jumpsuit in Kill Bill. It's just classic, but this pose alone, you can tell it's Bruce Lee. Here's the package for the Enter the Dragon version. The front is pretty much the same, except for the art for Bruce. This is the side. The back is the same. And the top is the same, except for 3 little scratches on his face. And here is Enter the Dragon Bruce Lee out of the package. And I'm going to say that Funko did an excellent job again on this pose. This one might be even better than the first one. He got his little pinky sticking out like he does. Just really, really amazing sculpt on these guys. And fortunately, this guy has great paint. You don't really see any flaws anywhere. Just the normal, but every single Funko Pop has, you know, not the best hairlines, but this guy's got pretty good hairline. Just little tiny imperfections that are pretty unnoticeable when he's just on the shelf. And only when you're inspecting it this close do you really see them. Pretty simple, just his pants and his little kung fu slippers. It would have been nice to have a third Bruce Lee in a full-on kung fu outfit with the top and everything, like in blue from some of those other movies. I think Chinese Connection or one of those, he wears the blue little kung fu outfit. I'm not sure what it's called. But this is from Enter the Dragon at the end where he's fighting the guy with the claw hands in the mirrored like palace or fortress that a guy's got. It's almost like a James Bond style villain that he's fighting. And the guy ends up scratching Bruce Lee several times before he takes him down. And they got those scratches done really well without them looking too ridiculously big or small, just right. They got his little muscles and everything on there really well. And I love this pose so much. There's another one that if you were to paint it all black or all white or all gold or silver or something, you would immediately recognize him as Bruce Lee, even, without the black hair and everything, just from the pose of his hands, the pants he's wearing, his muscles. Just classic. I actually had a big, oversized poster that was about 4 times the size of a normal poster of this exact pose, but no words on it or anything, just Bruce Lee from about the waist up to about here on his head, just really big in this exact pose, and he just looked awesome. So this might be my favorite figure in my collection. I wanted to show you both Bruces up close at the same time so you can see that Game of Death Bruce Lee has shinier hair than Enter the Dragon Bruce Lee, and Game of Death's eyes are dull compared to how shiny Enter the Dragon Bruce Lee's eyes are. Almost like they got the paint mixed up for this guy, because I do believe that the shinier eyes and the flat hair looks better, more like Bruce Lee, than shiny hair and dull eyes. It's almost like they were made in different factories, where this one they got the paint mixed up for the eyes and the hair. And of course, this one has so much better paint on him that this must have been done in the superior factory where Funko makes their pops. You can still find these guys pretty easily online for about 20 bucks a piece. A little pricey for a pop, but they are exclusives. And if you're a big Bruce Lee fan, you're probably going to want to have these in your collection.